Hi and welcome to this tutorial on portfolio, creating your portfolio. So the purpose of the portfolio is to give the reader a very clear indication as to what you have contributed to Assumption in the past year. And it also helps to establish your philosophy about teaching. Okay, so now we're having a look at the contents page. This is super important. I can't stress this enough. Very, very important, okay? So at the top of the page here, you will see a link to the document in Google Drive. Now it's in Word format, so that makes it very easy. You can just add some page numbers. You can use that document as your content page just by adding some page numbers, okay? Now, the other important aspect of this is that you will see a folder depicted on the page. This is to remind you that you must use a folder similar to this. Okay. So, I've collected all the documents that I intend to use and created separate folders. So this is the way I like to work. Everybody has their own way of doing things. Okay. Now I want to point out two websites that I find extremely user friendly. One is called ilovepdf.com. Don't you just love that title? And PDF Escape. So as I've detailed here, you can, using these websites, if I can do it, anybody can do it. You can convert files, you can delete pages that maybe you don't need. You can combine PDFs for your final version of your portfolio. And you can also annotate PDF files, which is a very good idea, because if you just have 20 or 30 PDFs and there's the person going through your portfolio, if there's no explanation of what they're all about, it's a little bit pointless. Okay. So as you can tell by now, I absolutely love using graphics. I think it certainly cheers me up. I know everybody is I've come across lecturers at university who absolutely detest graphics, but that's their problem. Okay, so your personal data will, well, in my case anyway, it all fits on one page very nicely. Okay, and then as you can see, the picture there is the frontis for the education, the documents related to education. And as you can see, there's almost, I don't know, there's maybe 15 or 16 documents there. So I just plan to insert them in chronological order. Okay. I would imagine for most of us, these three areas have been knocked on the head because of COVID. So we can move on. For self-created media, I've used these platforms: Kahoot, QUIA, Quizzes, and SharePoint. And what I've done is I have created a document like this for each one, which includes links and also rationale. Now for each platform, I have also created a PDF version of an activity on that particular platform. So the next section, self-created handouts. For most of us, I would assume that because we're online, that will be mostly digital. For example, Microsoft Forms. I've used a lot of Microsoft Forms, and I'm sure you all know that it's very easy to convert your form into a PDF file. Okay, so here is I have here on this slide an example of a handout that I plan to use in summer school in the unlikely event that we will be on site. Okay, so let's discuss the action research. So as you can see, there's 5 chapters. Okay, so I strongly recommend you locate the link that's depicted at the top of this slide. So chapter 1, what is the study about? Define action research, theoretical framework. So what's the reason for this? You have to explain the reason for your particular study. Research questions, the contribution implications. So how is this going to benefit your teaching and assumption and so on? And what comes next? So how are you just detail how you are going to continue with this action research. Then chapter 2 is about literature review. How is it organized? State the relevance to your study and state what we already know. Then chapter 3, research design, organization, function of each section, methodology. So what and why? Context. So why does context in our case will be the particular class that we are researching. Your own role. Overall design. What are your questions? Data collection and analysis. So what data supports your research, and then you check your methodology. Okay, chapter 4, findings, pretty self-explanatory, and chapter 5, conclusion. So let's talk about the mission statement. Obviously, this is very, very subjective. Every mission statement will be different, needless to say. So these are just some suggestions. This is how my mission statement looks. First of all, how to help students meet your expectations. So clear communication there is very important. Enhance student-teacher communication. Get to know students as much as possible. Okay. Deal with student-teacher barriers. Highlight the positive aspects of making mistakes. Come across as a role model and generate a fun atmosphere. So very early on, when I was having years and years ago, when I was having problems with some disruptive students, I asked my Thai friend, did he have any suggestions as to how I could improve this situation? And he said to me, it's very important for teachers to respect students. So this is something that's always in the front of my brain, respecting students, no matter how no matter how disruptive they are, or how much they mess with my head. I really enjoy this part of the portfolio because I like to write, and it's nice to express one's opinion about a book one has read in the past. My approach is I just research the author and write a little bit about him or her, and then I obviously write a summary of the plot in the book and give my opinion, give my recommendation, whatever, and I try to use a few graphics to engage my reader. So section 7 of the portfolio, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, and I'm sure you all have records of students' work saved on your devices. So I include some of those. I explain a little bit about them. then I also convert my Excel spreadsheets into PDF, and I include those in my portfolio as well, just to give some indication as to how my ongoing record keeping is. So thank you for your attention. I hope you found this tutorial of some interest, and if you've got any questions, please reach out anytime. Okay, take care, have a good one.